All right, I'll start us off. My name's Ronald, head of Web3 for Rolling Loud. I got into crypto 2016, 2017. So I say I'm more, I guess, crypto native than NFT native. I was here before it was called Web3, and I'll be here for whatever it's called next year. Yeah. Charles, you want to introduce yourself?
Of course. Hey, everyone. My name is Charles, also known as Evaded. I got into the space last May. My first big NFT purchase was a Bored Ape at 5 ETH. I've been building in the space ever since. My second NFT purchase was a Pudgy Penguin, and now I'm part of a Pudgy Penguin team since Luca took over. They all happened in our group chat, and it was an exciting experience. And I'm also been building this project called Dented Fields. And then a little bit more about me too. I'm working on the partnership side at Loudpunx, and just been in the music business for 2 to 3 years.
Wow, some experience a little all over the place. I love it. Obviously love to hear the Web3 backgrounds as well. So very, very lucky to have you guys come and talk to us about Loudpunx and the Rolling Loud Festival. So do you mind kind of explaining a little bit quickly on just to overview what Loudpunx is and what it's trying to do for the NFT space?
Yeah, I'll start with, I feel like we have to define Rolling Loud for those who don't know Rolling Loud, to then really get into Loudpunx. So Rolling Loud was founded by Tarek Sharif and Matt Zingler. They co-founded it in 2015. They've been in the events business since, like 2010 though. But Rolling Loud launched in 2015, and here we are now in 2022. We are the largest hip hop music festival in the world, and we'll be in 8 locations internationally next year. So our flagship show is Miami. Last year we did 85,000, and I think we're looking to do 100,000 next year. New York, LA, Toronto, Portugal, Netherlands, Thailand, and we're announcing another European market, and we will likely be returning back to Australia in 2024. And then that brings us to Loudpunx. So Loudpunx will be our first major foray into Web3. We've done some POAP style stuff, but this is like our real commitment to it, doing a large scale PFP style project on Ethereum. So each Loudpunx is going to grant you access to any and all of our festivals for life. If anyone's familiar with maybe Lyrical Lemonade's project, or even VFriends. So Gary's guaranteeing you 3 years, Cole 3 years. This will be a lifetime. And like I said, this isn't just a North American festival. We have multiple markets in Europe. We only have a singular market in Asia, but we're looking to expand there as well. And as I said, Australia. And I kind of said we founded in 2015, and now it's only 2022. And to kind of reference some other festivals like Coachella, Lala, Tomorrowland, Ultra, some of those were established like late 90s, early 2000s. So we're a relatively young festival and still very much growing. We've done a lot in 7 years, and we plan to continue to do even more. That's kind of why I guess maybe you could say we're early in Web3, at least doing something like this. We're kind of hoping that this becomes the blueprint for Web2 entering Web3, and not kind of the direction Coachella went, where they went on Solana. It was FTX marketplace exclusive. It was very limited with a really, really high price tag. So we're kind of trying to change the map on that.
Yeah. Love to see music and Web3 get a little bit more love together. I feel like it's something that like we've always talked about. You know, there's been projects that have done it. There have been projects that said they wanted to start their own festival, things like that. But it's really cool to see a festival like leverage on that. An already established one leverage on that. So, do you mind if I ask, like, who's the biggest headliner that the festival has pulled in thus far?
Maybe I think we could debate this. So you have some of the guys coming up who we've already had on a lot. Like, I mean, Travis Scott may now be the biggest. We've had, Playboy Cardi, another one coming up, but we've had Future, Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, Nicki Minaj. Honestly, like say a name and we've had them. J. Cole.
50 Cent was probably a pretty iconic one, but yeah, J. Cole. Anyone that's big in the hip hop scene, Rolling Loud basically has, and still trying to get some even crazier artists.
I love it. J. Cole, one of my favorites. I think he's underrated in my opinion, but let's not talk about my opinion tonight. Let's talk a little bit more about Loudpunx and things like that. So what exactly, or rather, when exactly are you guys releasing this NFT?
So to be announced, we had an original mint date of actually it would have been this Wednesday, but we're bringing in a lot of new people, and I think they thought it would be easier to get ETH, which I think all of us here are pretty native, so our accounts are verified and we can get ETH pretty quickly. But there were some concerns from more of our Web 2 natives and issues they were having. So we're pushing back and giving them a little bit more education so that group that is coming in, they can be ready for it.
Okay. And obviously we have the window of time kind of pushed back. Do we know what the price is going to be for one of these passes?
So right now it's publicly known as to our Discord as a 1 to 2 ETH mint, but Tarek has been on record in the Discord saying he really wants this to go at 1 ETH, and I'm pushing for it hard at 1 ETH. So take that for what it is.
So a 1 ETH purchase gets you access to this festival for life.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the locations around the world, and this festival will only keep growing. But there's other utility coming with this, NFT as well, including a Web3 lounge at every festival. So it'll just be exclusive to the holders and higher level network people. We're just trying to curate. I don't know if anyone's been to like a Coachella lounge, but more of that type of experience and give that more exclusive feel for the environment. And there hasn't been like real utility yet in the space, and we want to create that and curate that for the future of Web3.
Awesome. Are there any other utilities maybe we should know about as well that goes along with it? In my mind, I'm thinking, this festival continues to grow. You guys keep getting these big time acts. You go to 2 of these festivals and it seems like it pays for itself. But as everyone always says, when utility. So I'm curious if there's any others out there as well.
Yeah, the utility is here. The value prop is crazy on it, like you're saying. Like you get your money back so quickly. I also kind of see this as an important product being built in this bear. I think with NFTs, I think we can all agree when we're trying to tell our friends about them, it can be challenging. And hopefully Loudpunx can be one that'll be easy to point to, especially with hip hop as a massively growing genre still. And to kind of point to something with as big of an IP as Rolling Loud and be like, yeah, they have one that gets you into all their festivals and kind of opens the door for some easier conversation as we try and onboard more people. And then to touch on more utility, so the Loudpunx only lounge, I think, is a really big one, and it's partly why we want to market to the Web3 crowd. I see this as almost like a new vertical for us, like a more tech, fine art kind of narrative. And maybe your collection that you're a part of right now only has meetups at NFT NYC, or only has, I guess, are there really any others? Like maybe you don't want to meet all year. Maybe you don't want to meet up in New York. So this is something that a few of you can grab, and your meetup is the biggest hip hop festival in the world. And it's just like, if anyone's been to festivals, how there's like a unique energy to a festival. So now and then if you've been to NFT NYC and you've been in that room where it's token holders only, there's something special there. So to kind of put that on top of a festival, it's something that no one's really done yet, and I'm excited to see how that all turns out and what that looks like. I'm kind of focusing on that, but the Discord will be token gated. We want to do AMAs with top level artists and producers who we obviously have access to. Some Discord only like acts like DJ Scheme, DJ Five Venom's coming and do some sets for us. Merch, like anything that you have to again, I think some people don't realize how big Rolling Loud is, and like the kind of partnerships we've already executed on. So we've already done merch with Billionaires Boys Club and Levi's and Wu-Tang, and So you can expect more of that. And if we're able to scale it down into a smaller collection, like just do that much more with it. We have intentions to create sort of an incubator for hip hop artists coming in. I think we've seen some hip hop artists do some really shitty drops, just for whatever reason. And so we're hoping to provide guidance and kind of point to Loudpunx and the success it'll be, and kind of give that Loudpunx stamp of approval and help them enter the space in a way that they should, and kind of make sure that they're in it for the right reasons before we bring them in. I'm probably missing some stuff.
Yeah, I want to add in too that Rolling Loud is also working on an album as well, and we want to, have an album listening party exclusive to holders and Loudpunx exclusive events at, just different locations except the festival. There's a lot of opportunity in the space where we could put on upcoming musicians, producers, and acts, and we want this to be like an incubator as well. We had, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Invest in Stocks, but he was able to perform at the last Rolling Loud in Miami. So we want to like put people on because we have this connection to really onboarding people onto the music scene. So that's like another additional benefit of being part of the community. And I don't know if Ron wants to touch in on the trait-based utility too, but this is something that we really think would be fun to have in a collection.
Yeah. So we've definitely made sure to set up the collection in a way where there's small subsets where we can deliver some really high utility. There will be some tattoos in the collection, and we own quite a bit of tattoo shops in South Florida. So maybe if you're down in the area, you'll be able to get some free work done. And I think that's like, we have so much to leverage. I think to really understand what we can do, you have to understand Rolling Loud.
And we also want to give people like a behind the scenes look at a festival. I don't want to speak on that too much, but there will be some exclusive perks that only Loudpunx holders get to access at a festival. And we really want to build into like, if you're really into the whole hip hop festival, scene, and you just want to see the biggest acts, it's a 3-day festival too. So you can pick and choose what days you want to go to. You're getting access to all 3 days to the festival.
Yeah, I think that's, sorry to interrupt. We only sell 3-day passes. We don't sell day passes. And for someone like myself, I'm definitely a little older. So I don't know if I can go to a festival for 3 days straight. But like you said, like you're a fan of J. Cole, like J. Cole's headlining on Saturday. Like, awesome. Like, I'm just going to stop by and see J. Cole, and that's all I need for the night. And then I can go home. I don't need to buy that 3-day pass because I already have a Loudpunx.
Yeah, as an older person, I'll be honest with you, festivals are like not my jam, specifically because I can't do the whole the 1-day thing. So you're absolutely right. I love that thought there. And it's so much of what music at Web3 events seems to be. It's like, okay, we're going to throw this concert because everyone's here at NFT NYC or NFT London, but we don't really have that hey, this is Web3 native kind of concert, that's not necessarily geared around some kind of crazy event, because I feel like a lot of those times those concerts and things around those kinds of events detract from the actual event. So this is actually, instead of come to NFT NYC and, talk about NFTs and chill out and listen to music. It's like, no. This is all you're here to do is to chill out and listen to music. So I do love that aspect of this kind of deal. So maybe walk us through a little bit on like obviously we've talked about Rolling Loud and kind of the establishment that it's had in 2015, but maybe walk us through kind of the connections and things that you all have worked on to kind of build this trust, because the Fry Festival kind of thing kind of comes to mind to a lot of people. The documentary came out just a year ago or so, and I feel like brought a lot of attention to it. So like there's a lot of memes and things going on about that. Can you kind of maybe help us establish a little bit more trust in the brand with some maybe partnerships and things that you guys have done?
Yeah, I mean, Rolling Loud's really big. I mean, we started Rolling Loud in Miami, and if anyone's familiar, or some of our first festivals were at Bayfront Park, which is like a city-owned park, and then we got too big for it. So now we do it at Hard Rock Stadium, which is where the Dolphins are. Kind of like the scale of our festivals. Like these already been done before. This isn't like, oh, we're gonna do that. Like we do 85,000 at Miami. In New York at Citi Field, I think we do about 60,000. I forget the name of the Toronto location, but in LA we are now. What's the new
SoFi Stadium?
Yeah, SoFi Stadium. We are a large, very established company. Like you're just not some random person and you get future Kendrick Lamar and Nicki Minaj to headline your festival. This is multi-day festival with multiple stages. We have like a robust merch side of our business. I mean, I don't think Levi's really like partners with random people. Sure. Same with Billionaire Boys Club and Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, just Google roll it. It's a big established music festival. It's the first of its kind in a way. I mean, there was Rock the Bells, but that's no longer around. We are far and away the largest hip hop music festival in the world, by a significant margin, and still growing.
I also want to add that Rolling Loud also does their own tours too. For example, the Lil Baby Chris Brown tour that was powered by Rolling Loud. Another one, for example, is like Babytron that was recently announced. But, you know, as the festival grew, same with these artists back in 2016, we have acts like Kodak Black, Lil Uzi that have just been from the jump just with Rolling Loud. Because as the festival grew, these artists grew too. And now they're like basically headlining acts. Same with A$AP Rocky.
Yeah, and I appreciate you guys giving a little insight there. That wasn't necessarily for me. I have heard of the festival, and I'm familiar with it. But just for people out there not listening or listening out there later, I wanted to make sure there was some context there. That's all. But appreciate it. Got a few questions here in chat that I'd like to get to, if that's okay.
Yeah, definitely. And also I mean, maybe you could speak to like some celebrities, like Rihanna's like a big fan of the festival. Like you'll see James Harden and Kevin Durant, a lot of NFL guys. I'm pretty sure Diddy's on record, or what, I don't know what Diddy goes by these days, but he's on record for co-signing for Rolling Loud. So there's definitely a lot of star power behind our brand.
That's awesome. And also Kanye, but you know, Kanye's at a weird state right now. But he does like to attend the festival and randomly perform.
I would love to see a Kanye performance randomly. Obviously, everything aside from that. But anyway, what's the total size of the collection? This sounds like the Proof Collective of festival NFTs. Someone said.
Yeah, it's funny. We were initially because we're a Web2 company, so we've been planning this a long time, as all Web2 companies do. It's even for, we're Rolling Loud, so we're a little bit counterculture, so we move faster than a traditional Web2, but nonetheless still a Web2. So we thought we would do a 10K, but we've been planning a long time, and we kind of came out as a 10K, but now we're seeing what the community wants, and we want to do what's best for our holders, and we want to do what's best for Web3. So we're going to scale back the collection to make it more exclusive, turn up the utility, and make sure this is like a successful launch within the Web3. Because again, this maybe not rightfully so, but I feel a little bit of a burden. I feel like projects like this are important for our space to move forward. So we can kind of bring in, as much as some of us like want to leave all of Web2 behind, like I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. So we want to do something successful here and like kind of reset the blueprint on how to go into Web3 and hopefully encourage more people to come in on Ethereum or Polygon or like an open public chain, and not go into these exclusive marketplace deals and kind of just get like paid a bag and do a really small run with this ridiculous price. So we're kind of hoping to change that blueprint. So no official collection size out yet, but I think people will be pleased with the new collection size.
Awesome. And then, just moving on to the questions that are written here. Will the access be standard ticket, or is there like an upper tier when you have this pass? Like, what's it as standard? Like, if I purchase this pass and I get to go to, the one in Miami, is someone who purchased a 3-day pass as well got the same kind of access I do, other than the lounge?
Well, that's it. I would position it closer to a VI because it's like if you have a lounge and somewhere to sit, I think that separate from a GA.
You're cutting out there, but I'll add into that too. There will be since it's trait based utility, there will be certain traits that will grant you VIP regardless. But there are plans for any holders to easily upgrade their pass to just like a VIP. But I don't want to say too much alpha, but yeah, there is extra benefits.
Yeah, and I think again, like saying the lounge. I mean, I think if you get somewhere to sit, that automatically puts you above GA. Like speaking to again the older crowd. I mean, if you have somewhere where maybe there's some air conditioning, somewhere to sit, some separate bathrooms, it for all intents and purposes like a VIP.
Got it. Okay. I understand that, and I probably agree with that too.
Sitting changes the game. Yeah, if you have somewhere to sit, you sit.
Yeah, I learned that at a punk concert I went to, like when I turned like 25, and I was down there right up the front, and then these kids started moshing, and I wasn't really near the moshing, but I was close enough to get the repercussions, and I had a beer in my hand, and some kid freaking just flew it all over me, and I just looked at my wife and I was like, we're getting too old for punk music now. So being able to sit down was the way to go for that concert. But anyway, more questions rolling in. This one's a pretty long one, so bear with me. We've seen a few other IRL projects move into Web3, mint out, but then ultimately end up running out of funds at some point and then fade away. Can you speak a little bit about how you guys are positioning the project to be able to financially support the mentioned utility in year 2 and beyond? Don't get me wrong, it sounds like it's great. I've just grown to be skeptical over the years, so please don't take this question personal. And I think you guys kind of spoke to that a little bit about establishing how big of a brand you are. But at the end of the day, offering lifetime access to this initial mint will kind of drive into the dollar cost average of operations, right? So
absolutely. Yeah. So I think again, we're kind of leading the charge on this, but events businesses, especially festivals, are uniquely positioned to deliver utility over long periods of time, regardless of if any Loudpunx show up, like we are having a festival. That doesn't change. And to speak to longevity, Tarek and Matt are both on the record of wanting to throw festivals until they are dead. Matt jokes about saying that they're going to be the first festival on the moon, which is just like a funny thing to say considering like, how we talk about the moon and crypto so much, but he's been on the record saying that for a while. We do plan on going about ways to enforce royalty. Just even aside from my role as head of Web3, I think the royalty component of NFTs is important. That's how we continue to bring in more creators. This might be a hot take, but if you take away the royalty, it's kind of just a JPEG again. But again, we also are looking at creating alternative streams of revenue outside of just pulling money from our holders, which I think you kind of see now. Again, we have that really strong brand and that really strong IP. We intend to create Loudpunx as more of like a top tier brand within our collection and kind of be able to monetize that to people outside of it. As well as kind of creating a content creation platform within the Discord, like we were talking about those AMAs or those sets. So maybe we get it first within the Discord, but then we're able to put it out to YouTube or however it may be. And we kind of create this content creation platform and maybe look to monetize that. I'm keenly aware of projects needing to create streams of income that are not just siphoning money from their holders. I'm not sure exactly what it looks like yet, but we have some minds working on it and figuring that out. But my biggest thing is kind of creating Loudpunx as this like top tier collection and idea. And maybe, of course, Loudpunx holders get first dibs and pre-sale on this Loudpunx merch or whatever it may be. But then there's also a public offering, and we kind of use that to funnel that into the collection and continue to create experiences that people want to be a part of.
Absolutely. A great question kind of came in, and it's kind of showed up twice here in different forms. So I'll kind of just parse them together. But, someone says, of course, not everyone's going to be able to attend all the events all over the world, which would be kind of crazy. What will the regulations be in case I want to just say, hey, friend, in, Australia, I'm not going to the Australia Rolling Loud Festival, but I'm sending you my pass so you could go and listen to the X rapper. What's the regulations there, and do you guys consider it a redeemable token for each event? And it's like, is this something that you guys see people reselling on the market for years to come?
Yeah. So, let's talk about like claim process and stuff. Cause, so we've been speaking with some, if you guessed it, like 2 names for who's been handling IRL token gating. Like we're in talks with them. So it'll be like the Thursday. So it's a 3-day festival, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So the Thursday before, there will be an offsite will call at a hotel nearby, like a ballroom situation that'll be open, say 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you'll be able to go there, verify your token through one of these established, trusted partners, receive your wristband there, and then go to the festival with no problem the next day. There'll also be on-site will calls, Loudpunx specific. So if you aren't able to make it the day before, you can go on days of the festival. But anyone who's been to festivals, it's best to avoid the will calls on site, just the nature of a festival and how many people are there. So in terms of, there's no regulation if you can't make it to Australia, so you can transfer it to your friend in Australia. Obviously, you should trust your friend. There's obviously some risk in sending fucking very valuable assets to people. But we don't expect that to be something that happens at massive scale. So it's like, yeah, like your cousin is in Australia and he wants to go. It's like, yeah, send it to him if you trust your cousin. I don't know if I would trust my friends with an NFT, but hopefully we get to the point where it gets easier and that's easier to do.
Yeah, we also don't want people to have to bring their ledger or the NFT on site. Typically you verify before you go to these events.
That makes a lot of sense. So on this, in the same right, you guys see these being resold on OpenSea, year 3, year 4, year 5,
even year 1. Yeah, definitely.
Of course, yeah. Okay.
It's like some people will, like you said, like maybe you get to an age where you're like, I don't really want to go to festivals anymore. And that's like the beauty of this, and kind of Tarek and Zingler's like commitment to Web3 and digital ownership. Because people ask, why didn't you just do this in Web2? Like, it's like Web2 solutions for lifetime passes were so clunky. And if you wanted to transfer, you'd have to go through like sketchy secondary, like StubHub shit. And then you have to like transfer over the names. And this just makes it so kind of like smooth and seamless. And there's just something about that that's like so enticing and really like giving back to holders in a way. It's such a unique thing about the technology that really like brought us into Web3.
Love that. Scott Cook kind of asked a question a little similar to that, of why the desire for NFT collection attached to the event instead of, vice versa. But you guys just answered that. So kind of love the explanation there. But Scott Cook also asked, just learning a little bit about Loudpunx through this AMA. If we're interested to mint, is there a partnership with MVHQ for a raffle or for an allow list, or how do we get on the allow list? What's what are the things there? And he ended it with when is meant. But obviously, you guys said that.
God, I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah.
They're. I mean, am I allowed to say this, Charles? Am I good to go here?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. We definitely are doing a partnership with MBHQ. We see this as MBHQ is really like we feel like the cutting edge. Like it's an honor to be here, honestly. So we definitely have some allowances for MBHQ. There's also a public pre-mint link. It's pinned on the Loudpunx Twitter. But there will be some spots coming to MBHQ, and something kind of I speak to a little bit that I think is interesting. The space right now is very, very tribalistic. Just like crypto is, honestly, versus, I shouldn't shit on Cardano, but like Cardano versus ETH and Solana, and
fucking shit on Cardano.
and
Solana too.
So we are, and same thing with NFTs now. It's like we've adopted that ugliness from crypto and we brought it right into NFTs, and it's gotten even worse in this bear market. But we're a big Web2 IP coming in with low Web3 IP. I think a lot of the reason the NFT projects beef with one another is because they're all fighting over Web3 IP. So for us, it's like we're good. Like we're just come give us some of that Web3 IP, and we have plenty of Web2 IP exposure to give you. And we also have a testing ground for IRL, like blockchain technology. It's one thing to test your ticketing with 6 people at a meet and greet in some like dive bar in New York, but it's a whole nother thing to start to scale it out to 90,000 people. And that's partly our push for this into like a Web3 native communities. We want to have a group of people where we can try new solutions and new technologies that's going to be a little accepting of jankiness and some issues. And us NFT and crypto people are definitely accepting of that. Web2 people aren't going to be quite as forgiving if things don't work right away. But with a Web3 native crowd, if we're trying new things, I think there's a certain amount of forgiveness and faith in just trying to push the space forward.
Understand. Thanks for answering that one. So royalties as a cash stream is another question here. Has the team explored the option of holding back X amount of tokens versus having a higher royalty amount, i.e. maybe a royalty of 5% versus 10%, but the team keeps specific amount of tokens to sell auction at a later date? And then they followed up with, I don't want to drive the office hour into a highly controversial topic, but just curious how the team's approaching the CAF stream thinking. And another thing to add on to that is that a lot of these festivals, once you get the people there are ways to make money off of those people, right? So
yes, when everyone gets to a festival, they usually eat some food or get a drink or
merch. Yeah, for sure.
Not me, I'm super cheap, but most people will get something to drink or eat. So yeah, that's the thing that I think people, again, why event businesses are uniquely positioned to come into this space and deliver utility. I think we'll be far from the last people to do this, but it kind of is back to like our DNA and our culture. No one was doing hip hop festivals like we're doing them. People said it couldn't be done. People, for whatever reasons, Tarek and Matt said, fuck that, it can be done. And here we are doing the same shit in Web3. We're going to continue to push boundaries as we did in Web2. Sorry, I kind of ranted. What was the question again?
Basically,
Oh, I got it. I'm back on it. It's something we've talked about as a team because it gets tricky when you hold back your supply because you're kind of like doing your holders a little bit wrong because they're trading without a full supply out there. It's again, we're a Web2 team, but we're trying to be more of a Web3 and move more quickly. So thanks for bringing that up. I don't think it's that controversial. I think these conversations need to be had. So I'd be interested to hear people's thoughts on that as well. Like, what's an acceptable amount of supply to hold back before you feel like you're doing your holders wrong and keeping that much, like you don't have true supply, so you can't have your true supply and demand curves established.
Yeah, and like
talk back to me on this.
Crypto schools too, when they came back to life after a bunch of people tweeted about it being the actual first or second PFP project. But yeah, that is a good discussion to be had. But honestly, there's not too much data to show if it's successful or not.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are kind of the pilot here. Yeah, I think you guys are very situated in a very unique, thing for the whole space. And I'm really hoping it goes well. So with that, this is kind of the time in the interview where I either have you guys kind of mention something you are excited about or kind of want to drop on us that maybe we didn't get the chance to talk to up till now. Maybe something that just we haven't brushed up on. Or if not, I want to give you guys the floor to kind of close this out with a recap of why we should be interested in Loudpunx. So with that, I'll go ahead and give it to you guys.
So obviously not everyone can attend all these festivals, and we're definitely intending to make sure people are rewarded in the digital space as well. We've been in talks and kind of trying to build and create our own environment in which we can stream our festivals and create that experience for Loudpunx holders. Because I know, like you said, I mean, some people are probably going to go to a lot of them, but most people aren't going to say go to Thailand and LA. Well, those people, let's say Thailand and New York. I feel like LA, Thailand isn't that bad of a flight, but Charles, you want to add anything and then we can just hop into a recap?
Yeah, I'm just excited that, there's actually going to be great Web3 events where people can experience these things that, and we could really onboard people that aren't used to music festivals or ever been to one and really show them like a great time with great artists and acts. And, I've been to a lot of NFT and YC events, and it was very underwhelming for the community and the people that have like supported them. I think that there's people that don't really know how to throw events. Even me, I went to the first Bored Ape yacht thing, and that was the most worst experience I ever had going on a yacht. That was supposed to be fun. But I'm just excited to see this festival grow and really build into Web3, especially with the partnerships that are already being built and finalized. I think that's good for the space, and there's not any other project that with utility like this.
Yeah, hot take. I fucking hate parties on boats. Like, you're just trapped out there. It's like a prison on the water. This is maybe just me being old again. But yeah, like I kind of speaking to what Charles said, a lot of collections have they've thrown a party for fucking 20 people and they're like, yeah, we're going to do these giant events. It's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. We are very, very established in the events businesses and we know how to do it. I'm excited to see the kind of community that we create. And like I said, I spoke to it earlier, and it's definitely the thing I'm the most excited about is meetups between holders on top of a festival environment. It's just that energy of a festival is so unique. You have to understand, like, festivals are peak experiences for a lot of people. And now it's someone that you're really in it with. I mean, we all know that sense of community when you hold the same tokens as someone and the kind of shit you go through and the ups and downs of the collection. So I'm just excited to see what this looks like in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and seeing maybe parents hand these down to their kids or like have these generational assets. And we want to make sure that there's a kind of a track record of these Loudpunx and what festival these Loudpunx have been to. Like, even once the asset is sold and moved on, like, still, like, what festivals what were these Loudpunx at, and just that kind of. And I think people, again, the partnerships we're going to be able to explore when we have a smaller collection size to do it through. Like, I know a lot of people aren't aware of, like, Levi's kind of like their merch side. They do like small capsule collections that go for really high premiums, but it's not something you can do at a 90,000 person festival. But when we start to get down into smaller numbers, we can start to do really like cute, like unique high end drops that to be fair, a lot of other collections don't have the IP for. Like maybe Bored Ape and I mean, not many more outside of that have the kind of like pull we have within like the entertainment industry.
Makes perfect sense. Well, gentlemen, I really do appreciate you guys jumping in here. Wanted to make sure you guys saw Skako had a really cool suggestion about limited like edition PO-ops or art or merch from each festival would be a really cool utility for holders. And I wanted to see if that's something that you guys were considering.
Yeah, so I can kind of speak to that. We definitely have intention, like, because you kind of said, like, what if you transfer it to your friend? Like, we definitely have some ideas around maybe airdrops with certain artists that will occur during festivals to whatever wallet is holding them at that time, to encourage holders to keep their assets, because we do want to make this a community. It's awesome. Sure, you sent it to your cousin, but people are like, yo, how long have you had yours? What are you doing? It's like, no, I just got this from my cousin. Like, I don't really know what the fuck you guys are talking about. So we do want to create that sense of community. Again, we have relationship. There's going to be some one-of-ones within the collection that are done by independent artists from outside our collection, some Web3 native, some Web2 native. So we definitely intend to explore the fine art side, and that's maybe not something people expect from Rolling Loud. We're going to surprise some people in the Web3 space, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it sounds like it. So I just wanted to go ahead and thank you guys for coming in here and showing us a little bit about Rolling Loud and Loudpunx's project here. For anyone out there, you can go to Rolling Loud's website, and I was like, again, before we kind of talked, I was shocked to see that this was like, you guys are leading with this. This is on your all's front page. So this is not just a company trying to do this on the back end or anything like that. This is the real deal. So I love to see it, and I love your all's openness and honesty with the questions that we've been asking tonight. You guys are really chill people, and it makes me feel bullish for your all's future and what lies ahead. So I want to thank you all for talking with us. I want to thank everyone out there for listening. And I also want to thank everyone listening to this later on. If you listened all the way through, you're the dopest. We love to see it. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time tonight. And
also, I wanted to add one more thing too. We are definitely looking into dynamic traits too. So, as more festivals you grow, your PFP involves. But we haven't really talked about that too much. But yeah, it's definitely in the works.
Oh shit. So like a changing kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, Ron, if you want to dive in on your...
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if you've ever seen any college football, like Ohio State Buckeyes, like how...
I'm in Columbus, baby, let's go.
All right, you know how a sack, I don't know what they get the stars for, but they're the Buckeyes. But that kind of a kind of system where, that's what I was saying, kind of like alluding to like where's this Loudpunx been? Like, even if you trade it, like I would still like that to be on record. Maybe like you're forward facing, like, why am I drawing such a blank on this? Like, not desktop, forward facing,
like a passport.
Yeah. Like, so your passport wouldn't show necessarily, will only show the festivals you've been to, but the Loudpunx itself, you'll be like, oh man, fuck, this one even went to fucking like LA in 2022 or 2023. Sorry, it's in March. Yeah, we're like, we are Web2, but we've got some crypto natives on board, me being one of them. We're going to do some cool shit. I keep saying it, but we're going to fucking surprise people. I kind of love when I see people fade it. I'm like, oh god, you're fucking up so bad.
Yeah, definitely expect cool shit. Honestly, I mean, I'm a degen trader in the space. I've been in it for a while. I've seen it all, and I'm in the spaces. I hear what's going on with all the drama, and Ron's like really, really in there too. Like, we're here for the community, even though that shit's corny. We really want to make sure this project succeeds.
Oh yeah, guys. Again, I hope you guys do too. And I can't wait to to hopefully mint one of these bad boys. I love a good festival. A good festival, not a bad one. All right. Well, gents, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You guys have a good one, and guys, go check them out and get ready for the mint. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. You guys are legends. Really are. It's an honor to be here.
Right on, guys.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.